Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. What I wanted to hear is give you another little quick peek or look inside my amazing course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. I know there's lots of people watching this that don't have the $319. I get it. It's totally okay. What I gave you probably a couple weeks ago was a 60-minute deep dive into my buy box. It is how you create focus. It's how you create confidence. It is step one of my course that is on this channel. I think the video is called Buy Box Deep Dive. So if you want, you can find it on this channel. What I wanted to do here is talk about the math. If you've been following me for any length of time, you've heard me say yield. You've heard me say good, great, average, all of these words. Now I want to give you the math. This is the math that I use to compare small houses with apartments. This is the math that I use to compare a heavy fixer with a turnkey solution. This is what I use. I believe a lot of real estate investors and lots of real estate investing overcomplicate it. Talk about IRR or cap rates or NOI or all of these other things. For me, all I ever have done is saying, hey, I have this money over here. I'm thinking about buying this thing. How much cash will this thing return? I do not care about appreciation. You will not see it in any of my formulas. I don't even care about buying at a discount. I don't care about principal pay down. I don't care about depreciation. I don't care about all these other things that people tell you to make a bad deal look good. My model is very simple. I use it every day. The math, the spreadsheet that I help my students build after the buy box is the thing. The very end of the spreadsheet is what I call yield. And it is really basic arithmetic, but let's go through it. There are really two numbers. It's a numerator and a denominator. The denominator or bottom number is probably easier to understand. So we'll go there first. So DPCCMR, what the hell are those? Let's talk about it. So DP stands for down payment. Even when I started investing way back in the early 2000s, I was smart enough to know down payment, right? How much are you putting down? Is it 5%, 10%, 20, 25%? That is real money coming out of your account. Closing cost. Another number that I will admit to understanding. And again, in the beginning, you've never done a deal. You probably don't know what closing cost is. Do a simple Google search in your area. Build your network. Call a title agent, escrow agent. Talk to another investor. Get a rough feel. Is it 1%, 2%, 3%? What are these numbers? Don't forget, this is real money. What I failed to understand all those years ago was this number. I admit in my first book, One Rental at a Time, this cost me. This number right here, make ready, I didn't understand. And thus, I bought the wrong deals. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're not counting make ready in your initial capital outlay, your numbers will always say buy a dump, buy a heavy fixer. Because of course, heavy fixers are discounted. Your down payment is less of a purchase price, closing costs will be slightly less. However, what I quickly looked at or understood after looking back, this is after 5 or 6 years, looking backwards, I must include make ready. Now in my course, we talk a lot about A, B's, and C's because a weakness of mine and a weakness of a lot of new students is I don't know what things cost. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. What we talk about is A, B, and C. A is turnkey, ready to go. C is a total fixer. And then B is somewhere in the middle. These are numbers that you will start to understand as you get in the game, as you see more properties, right? So again, don't forget this, make ready. This is how you compare a heavy fixer with turnkey, this number right here. And for me, as I highlighted in my book, One Rental at a Time, way back when in 2002, I should have bought turnkey. For example, the numbers will be rough. I could buy a heavy fixer for about 110. I could have bought a turnkey for like 130, 20K gap. But for me, it was only a 6K deposit gap or down payment gap, 6,000 down payment, right? The extra 20 grand. However, it took me 30 grand to do the make ready, or 25 or something like that. So I was deploying more cash to control that one asset. I made a mistake. This takes time to learn. You'll figure it out. And again, this denominator is the same. Is it an apartment? Is it 6? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 20? How much cash do I have to put out to make this rentable, right? And again, something you will learn in my course is we don't do Band-Aids. If it's broken, we fix it. We don't try to cheap out through all of this. So that's the denominator. Now the numerator, that's rent minus all expenses. You know, mortgage payment, taxes, you know, PITI, property management, reserves, you know, everything. Whatever is in your area, all expenses, everything. Don't, including reserves, including principal pay down. We are not trying to artificially make these numbers look good. I want to know how much money comes in rent minus all expenses. And way over here, there's something called monthly cash flow. If that number is negative, remember my channel, we call that an alligator. We don't do alligators ever. No good, no bueno. We don't buy them. We don't create them. Again, a mistake I talk about in my first book. Don't do that. Norris Drive went from good to bad, and I carried that thing for years to come. So what do we do with this? We take monthly cash flow times 12. And then that is our number. So again, it's monthly cash flow times 12 divided by total cash. That equals a percentage. For me in my market, I will not do a deal less than 9%. It would be 0.09 in this equation. Your job is to take the education I give you on buy box. Your job is to look at that every single day. Your job is to figure out all of these numbers and then figure out what average is. You're not supposed to know everything day one. Your job is to identify weakness, identify people you need to go out and meet and network, and get after it. Your job is after 90 days is to figure out what is an average yield of your buy box. Don't let anybody else tell you. You do the work. You build confidence. You put in the repetition and energy behind this. This is you. This is on you. Again, this is a big part of the course. You get to build your spreadsheet, but I wanted to make sure everybody has an opportunity to do the work. I don't care about NOI. I don't care about cap rate. I don't care about internal rate of return. I don't care about appreciation. I don't care about buying at a discount. All of those things are nonsense. I want to know how much cash I put in and how much cash I get out. I don't care if it's a 500 square foot house or a 20 unit apartment building. Everything runs through this spreadsheet. I will buy the best deal. Bigger is better is bogus. Bigger is better sometimes. Let the math tell you what the work is. So I hope you enjoy this again. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. Your job's to figure out average. Once you know average, only do great deals. When you become an elite investor, you can understand how you can play with these numbers and really explode your yield or cash on cash or return on capital or whatever you want to call it. For example, the Lumberjack and I did a video the other day where we played around with his down payment and we doubled his yield. So again, there's a lot of power in this simplicity. So get after it, do the work, figure out what you don't know, network, grow people that you know in your area. Never forget, it all starts with your buy box. I hope that helps. We're going to do the daily financial news in a few minutes. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.